Does my ex want me to contact them? That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. But first, my name is Clay with modernlove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you're not, because you, of course, deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up. And, at least think about subscribing to this channel, especially if you're new here or if you like what we're doing on this channel. Also, you might want to think about signing up for our email newsletter as well, too. You can find that down below this video in the description box. We send you advice, tips, and strategies to help you to get that great loving relationship, to help you get back together with your ex. Again, that's down below in the description box. We also give you this nice little report too that helps to understand some common myths and kind of pull them apart even that a lot of people may have run across in this whole dating and relationship world. One of the big ones is no contact. Oftentimes people think that they need to do the no contact rule no matter what, but sometimes it can be really, really dangerous to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's definitely a time and place for it, but if you do it at the wrong time and the wrong place, it can actually set you back a lot. Anyway, all that's down below, totally free. We are talking about does your ex want you to contact them? And more importantly, should you contact them? Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there on YouTube and on the internet that say that you should never, ever, 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 ever initiate contact with your ex, that you should wait for them to come crawling to you over broken shards of glass with tears in their eyes, admitting the terrible mistake that they made in breaking up with you. And I totally understand that situation, that frame of mind. It comes from a point of view of wanting to feel powerful, to feel vindicated in some way. And that is totally something that you can pursue if you want to. But feeling vindicated and feeling powerful and feeling righteous, those are not necessarily the same things that are going to get you into a great loving relationship. Sometimes they might be, but sometimes they may not be, okay? And what I want to help you do is to get you into a great loving relationship. If that makes you feel vindicated and righteous and all that, cool. If not, whatever. That's not my goal. My goal is to help you get into a great loving relationship. And if that doesn't involve you being righteous and powerful and vindicated, then hey, sorry, this is probably the wrong channel for you. But let's go ahead and get into this. Your ex might want you to reach out to them. They might want you to contact them. One way that you can know is if they know that things were better with you. After the breakup, things have been worse for them for, whatever reason. Either their life just didn't turn out to be as great as it was outside of the relationship, or maybe this whole global pandemic that we're all dealing with is a whole lot more difficult for them. Maybe they didn't anticipate it happening or whatever. Basically, if their life after you is kind of a step down for them, and maybe they feel kind of embarrassed. Maybe they feel kind of guilty about walking away from that relationship. They might be looking for you to initiate contact with them. Now, they might want to talk to you. They might want to initiate some sort of conversation or communication with you, but they might be holding themselves back because they feel embarrassed. They feel like, I took this step down. I took this step away from them. Like, who am I to go back to them? Who am I to, talk to them, to contact them, to admit that I was wrong or something like that? And it's not necessarily about a pride thing. I mean, it could be about a pride thing, but it's not necessarily about a pride thing. It could be that they just kind of feel embarrassed by their move, and they are having a hard time kind of confronting that and getting past that to admit the fact that they actually want to be in contact with you. And so they're kind of maybe waiting for you to contact them. It can happen. I've seen it happen before. Don't write it off. They also might be feeling prideful. Generally speaking, it hasn't been, how do I put this? Most of the time, if pride has been like a major issue, in someone contacting you or something like that, there's usually something else going on, like narcissistic personality disorder or something like that. I'm not saying that your ex has an NPD or some sort of mental illness, but usually if they're just like a normal person, they can put their pride aside and contact you. But they might be feeling embarrassed. They might be feeling kind of sheepish, I guess I'd say, about where they are in their life, and they don't think that like they have a whole lot to offer you, and so they're holding themselves back. That's something that a normal person would do, whereas generally someone with like something a little bit more complex might hold back out of pride. Also, another way you can know if your ex is wanting you to contact them is if they generally look for you to initiate things. You know, generally maybe during the relationship they wanted you to initiate things. And you know, it's not that they were intentionally doing this. Most likely, it's probably just kind of like how they are. You know, maybe they just have like a passive sort of personality. Maybe they just generally wait for other people to make the call one way or another, or to choose something one way or another. And if that's the case, then they're probably kind of still carrying that energy forward into where things are right now. And they might just be, you know, kind of playing that passive role again. And again, it's not that they're necessarily doing this to try to get you to play their hand. They're just doing this because that's maybe how they are in life, or that's how it feels safe for them, or maybe they just have a hard time speaking up, or maybe they have low self-esteem, or all sorts of other reasons why somebody might play the passive role in things, or why they might look for someone else to initiate things. Another way you can tell if your ex is wanting you to contact them is if maybe the two of you have left some sort of open-ended plans in the past, like, oh yeah, we should talk again sometime, or yeah, it'd be nice to hang out sometime, or yeah, it'd be nice to do that, or it'd be nice to think about doing this at some point, or yeah, let's do this again, or things like that. This is basically an open-ended door for them to either contact you or for you to also contact them. They wouldn't be making these open-ended plans with you if they weren't okay with you contacting them. I mean, sure, they might be just polite or something, especially if you have maybe kind of a more dominant personality and they don't know how to say no. But most likely they are leaving the door open for you to contact them if and when you feel ready to do so. Okay, that's also something to keep in mind. Now, with all of this in mind, should you actually contact your ex? Well, I guess before we get into that, you might want to check out this video series up here on texting your ex. It can help you to understand some of the ins and outs of texting your ex, so check that out. But should you contact your ex? Now, I mean, obviously, if there's like a heavy degree of emotional resistance on their part towards being in contact with you, you know, there might be some things to consider there. Although, if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that's probably not the case. Should you contact your ex? Most likely, if you're thinking about it, you probably should. You probably should. I know that for a lot of people, especially for women that I've worked with in the past, they have a difficult time initiating contact with their ex, and they think that like, oh, the man should take the initiative, the man should do it. And I totally get that. You know, if this was a dating sort of situation where like the two of you met and you know, went out on a date or something like that and you wanted to go out again, yeah, it probably would make sense most of the time for the guy to make the next move. You have to understand, though, that this is not a dating situation. This is a relationship repair sort of situation. And there can be so many complex emotions that could be going on beneath the surface. Like, for example, you know, if he maybe feels embarrassed about where he's at in his life. He might not think that he's worthy of having you in his life. And so he might hold himself back from initiating contact, even though he might want to, right? And so you have to kind of look at these emotional things that are going on beneath the surface before you either say, you know, yeah, I should wait, or no, I shouldn't wait. But, you know, oftentimes a lot of what I do with women that seem a little bit hesitant about initiating contact is I kind of push them out of their comfort zone a little bit. And oftentimes, really great things start happening when you actually take action and go after what you want. So don't think that, you know, just because you're like a woman or something like that, that you need to play passive. I don't think that being passive is a feminine characteristic. I think it's absolutely possible to be active and go after what you want in life while still maintaining that kind of feminine energy. So I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people make, is that femininity is passivity. No, not the case at all. So don't think that that's like a get off the hook kind of thing. It's like, oh, I want to be a feminine woman. No, you can still be feminine and still also be active in going after what you want, okay? And most of the time, I think if you really want to connect with your ex and it's just not happening on their timeline, it probably does make sense to initiate contact yourself. You know, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether your ex is a man or a woman, or any of these things, you know, go after what you want. It generally makes sense to do so. Also, once again, if you're not already, you might want to be on that email newsletter that is down below in the description box for this video. And of course, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you like what we're talking about here. And if you want to learn more about texting your ex and all that, you might want to check out this video series over here on the subject, or you might want to check out this video over here. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Please take care.